Let's go.
West Brom arrived at the Stadium of Light off the back of a 30-day break and a 3-match winning run. They were also welcomed by sub-zero temperatures and a Sunderland team who were fired up from the off. So how did the Baggies break a 28-game streak to eventually come from behind and win at Sunderland? West Brom's strengths lie in attacking down the sides and set pieces and crosses. They have the second highest shots per game in the league and the third lowest for allowing shots on their goal, so they are not easy opponents. West Brom, though, are also quite passive in possession and out of it, offering territory and putting men behind the ball. Mowbray had done his homework in these matters and decided to counter this with an extremely high press for 2 reasons. 1, to try to win the ball when they were not defensively able to crowd us out of their box, and 2, to keep West Brom away from their strength in attacking with crosses, long balls and set pieces. Largely, these 2 objectives were sound, if a little adventurous.
The most comfortable in and around their own penalty area. Palmer's kick was poor. In the beautiful game.
And as the game got underway, Sunderland started brightly. Gooch was much more positive from the off.
Of the championship weekend, the Sunderland boss Tony Mowbray welcomes his old club West Brom, who finally continue after a 30-day break from action.
And the high press was extremely effective in unsettling West Brom.
Can't force it through as he would like. Really good challenge, and the fans enjoyed that. They'll enjoy it more if they can find another goal, which they might do here, because Diallo's onto it. Gooch. Diallo.
Mowbray is demanding that Pritchard gets into the box and attack more in recent months, and tonight we saw him high and direct to good effect.
Sims. Pritchard in for 2! What a block there by Palmer!
He's been doing well in this area lately.
Pritchard ready to net against his former employers.
Having seen Clark double marked out of the Millwall game and in West Bromwich Albion up against a strong aerial side, Mowbray chose to push play inside as well as high. Pritch played high and through the middle, and Embo was preferred to Clark because he has the tendency to turn inside and run through the half spaces to the box. Look at Embleton's positioning here. He's very central, and as play unfolds, he's very close to Pritchard. You would never see Clark this deep inside. Clark would be hugging the touchline. If you're not sure, these are the half spaces, and playing through them can make the opposition defending difficult, particularly if you're a winger and up against a back 4. Defenders aren't sure about who or when to commit to you. Think of how Wickham backed off Embo in the playoff final. Turn the ball over in the final third, push quickly to the centre and shoot was Mowbray's plan.
To O'Shea.
And it largely worked as we harried, harassed and generally dominated the game for the best part of an hour.
Might have another chance. Diallo with the set.
Chances came plenty, and it's perhaps no surprise that the opening goal came via the irrepressible and impossible Amad Diallo. The lad's on fire at the minute and looks terrifying whenever he gets on the ball.
There's a sense of inevitability about this. Amad Diallo goes down. That's a penalty.
He won an obvious penalty.
That really didn't need to be made. It was a risky move. And as Amad Diallo looked to come inside anyway. And the Sunderland fans gather right behind the goal as they hope to see this one rifled home. Amad Diallo has scored 4 goals in his last 6 appearances. 5 goals in his last 7 games now. And great conviction in his spot.
And he might have had a second in the second half.
West Brom are away from home and building on 3 successive wins. A point will be taken here, albeit against a newly promoted side. Here's Diallo. Moving again, going down again, but he doesn't get a penalty again.
However, this aggressive and ambitious choice of play needed the defence to be as robust as it had been against Millwall, and they did start commandingly. Pato, too, looked much improved today in dominating his area, an early season weakness for him. But there was little indecision from him on display.
Wallace will centre again. Patson will catch again. Wallace. High, and Patson grabs it just. Only just.
However, the first half was not all our own way. There was an obvious threat.
Wallace. Wallace. Here's Wallace. Wallace.
Jed Wallace pinged balls in early rather than trying to beat his man, and he looked their only real danger. As the first half closed, it was a question of stop him and keep the pressure up, and surely the game was ours.
Wallace again. It's Thomas Asante this time, and Gooch has to put it behind, and the roar you can hear is from the couple of thousand West Brom fans behind the goal. Great technique on that ball in.
Well, having had an excellent first half, it seems obvious these days that we're bound to have a terrible second. We did start just as brightly, but one of the risks of such high volume pressure as we were exerting to control the game is that when you play high, you get caught.
Coached by Kolo Toure, who until recently was on the coaching staff at Premier League side Leicester City. Neil, Sims, Neil, he goes down, no foul. Referee waved it away instantly there. Yukushlu.
In the 52nd minute, we were lucky. We were almost picked off on the counter. Wallace with a long ball for West Bromwich Albion, and a fortunate save by Pato.
He's been picked out here. Swift into Phillips. It should have been 1-1. Carlos Corberan will be absolutely livid inside that his team haven't taken advantage of that one.
09 was lucky here, allowing the runner to get in front of him defensively. And I'm sorry to say, despite having a good game elsewhere, he was responsible for the 2 goals we let in as well. Perhaps Dan Ballard will walk back into this team. Shortly afterwards, they had a penalty claim turned down.
Asante. West Brom gaining ground, and that was an arm in the back there, which was... Question is, should they have been given a penalty?
It's a shoulder barge from Gooch, legal but risky. West Brom were growing into the game. But what do you do at this point? There's a little over 30 minutes to go. Do you go for the second and try to kill the game? Or do you heed the warnings and try to play a little more conservatively, prepared to defend the one? Well, if you chose the latter, then perhaps you take off Embo and bring on Sirkin to cut out the play of Wallace. Mowbray chose to go for it, and he replaced Embo with Clark, tried to win and risk the leveller. Of course, it's easy to say we'd have made a different choice now that it's all over. But would we? And we might have done that and still lost.
Furlong finding a good ball into Rogic, who slides it forward straight away. Phillips nearly there. It comes through to Townsend. He'll take aim.
So how did West Brom eke out the win? Wallace. He was simply outstanding all night, providing chance after chance and hitting some of those balls so early that they were undefendable by the time the back line engaged him. Carlos Corberan also made 4 changes on the hour mark, and within 20 minutes, 2 of those substitutes had scored.
Alex Pritchard and Daryl Dike. Back he comes now, Wallace.
For the first, Clark can't stop Wallace's cross. And 09 loses focus marking in the box.
DK fired through, and in this time it had been coming. And
West Brom are down to 10 men at this point, and we have the numbers to cover, so we really should be doing better here. Sims, Barth and Evans are all marked up here. It's Neil and 09 who are clearly free, and one of them has to take the responsibility of closing down Rogic, who ends up scoring the goal. As it happens, Neil covers an inside runner, and 09 covers no one.
Dike setting it back, and the cleverest of finishes. His last goal came in an old firm derby between Celtic and Rangers.
Are we fit enough? It isn't the first time I've thought this in the closing stages of a game. There are several games where we've lost focus and are off the pace and off the ball, and it's cost us, like here. As the final 20 drew in on a sappingly cold night, we lost shape and dropped deeper. Here, Evans calls for Sims to mark on the halfway line, and when he doesn't, Evans presses the play himself, but this leaves him out of position, and Rogic moves between the lines to receive the ball. Evans is not able to recover his position and is in front of Rogic, making it easy for him to turn out of the play. Elise presses well, but Sirkin must do the same, or the press is wasted. He doesn't, and Wallace is afforded too much space, as he had been all evening, to cross the ball. And the cross is met powerfully by Daryl Dike, giving Pato no chance.
With his first West Brom goal that might turn out to be the winner. A year that made the ending on a high for the American.
09 was great passing forwards and great standing up to people physically, but once again, he let his runner in front of him.
Since then, but he timed his run to perfection. What a ball in from Wallace once again. They can always rely on him.
Ultimately, we conceded ground in the second half as it wore on, and we let them play in the areas they are strongest, crossing, and with fresh legs, they got the winner.
And Dike couldn't have wished for a better cross.
If you made it this far, well, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, I guess, if you liked it. Share, subscribe if you liked it a lot, and you'll get a notification when the next one of these reviews comes out. Thanks a lot.